Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name is Connor McKenna.
I'm Rebecca Britta.
And today we are covering Iron Fist 74, Sabretooth, Round 2, Part 2. Many things wrong with that. But
Marvel Legacy. Ba, ba, ba.
Yes. So on the cover we have Iron Fist and Sabretooth in like a room bar thing, and there's two dead people on the ground with like claw marks all over them, and it's a good cover.
Decent cover, yeah.
Yeah. So I will read out the recap. Returning to New York City after a long, perilous journey, Danny Rand found the Book of the Iron Fist stolen from his ultra-secure vault. Only one security photo caught a fleeting glimpse of the perpetrator, a villain believed to be dead, which led Iron Fist to seek help from someone with a connection to this villain. Sabretooth, while the pair try to solve the mystery, Choshin, the man who tried to steal Danny's chi on the island of Weishi, has made his way to New York and met with the man who stole the book, someone in the guise of the Constrictor. And we have Ed Brisson writing, Mike Perkins, the artist, Andy Troy is the color artist, VC's Travis Lanham is the letterer, and Jeff DeCarl is again the cover artist.
Yep, standard team.
Yep. So we start off with Sabretooth and Danny digging a grave.
Yeah.
Digging
a grave
cemetery.
that's already there. Like.
Yeah.
not digging, yeah. You know what we mean.
digging up a grave, sorry.
Right. That's probably how I should have corrected you, as opposed to digging a grave for the people they're going to kill.
And so Danny's like, oh, we're gonna get caught. There's just a bit of banter going on. And Sabretooth opens up the grave, and it appears that the body of Frank, the real Constrictor, is still in his coffin.
And smells like it.
Yeah. I guess Sabretooth has, like, super smells, though.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
but
I don't
still
know.
It would be pretty smelly, I reckon.
How long ago did he die?
It
anyway?
doesn't really matter. If it's more than a few
true,
days,
yeah.
It's probably pretty rank.
And so Sabretooth's annoyed because Constrictor turned his back on the criminal life, pretty much, and he doesn't like the fact that someone's running around ruining that decision and ruining his legacy, so that's his motivation for doing this, essentially, is for his friend, and to sort of clear his name, I guess, and,
Yeah.
well, not clear his name, but just make sure that, you know, someone's just not going to be wearing his duds.
He has some motivation to help Iron Fist now, at least.
Yeah, as opposed to...
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
A bit more.
So, now they're filling the grave back up, but then
and that's
we
a
go
beautiful
to...
little panel at the bottom of the book with them filling the grave with rain, just in silhouette. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of a show I watch, but I won't mention it, so... But I really love this rain everywhere.
I love rain in comics. It's amazing.
Yeah. And the rain's done really well in these comics.
Yeah, it's very dynamic for something. You know, like, it adds a lot of feeling.
Yeah, it's not just there, it's...
Yeah.
So we go to Port Morris in the Bronx, New York, so it's still raining there. Where are these guys? No, we don't even know where the cemetery is, but whatever.
No.
So there's a big abandoned creepy warehouse, like a Netflix show, I guess.
Yeah.
And Choshin is in there. And he's like, is this how people live in New York? No, Choshin, not unless they are homeless. So they're pretty much just squatting in this abandoned warehouse to be discreet.
And he asked him if he's converted to gold, so obviously brought some money. And he says there's $1 million in $100 bills. So
wow,
pretty flush.
Yeah, and we got the rat of 12 plagues sort of just scurrying around, being hungry.
Being creepily hungry.
So now we're getting some answers, for some of our questions last week. So first, they're like, has his quarters being prepared? And so they built a room full of like a home, like with a homeless man in it that he can eat, which is just lovely.
Yeah.
And he's a rat, but he also says, like, your sacrifice to the plague shall give you the honor and death that you never had in life. Which is kind of funny when he, like, says these really articulate.
Yeah. All of a sudden, in between the yes, feed me, kind of.
Yeah, he's, like, talking like the lizard, and then he's just talking like a monk.
Yeah.
In the next
he's
panel.
Kind of a weird mix. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Which I like.
I actually quite like it as well, that he has moments of clarity.
I am on the Rat of 12 Plagues ship. I like that character. He's memorable, and I like his powers. I love the idea of like a plague martial artist. I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
So hopefully he sticks around. So yes, and we get our answer here. And the Choshin is talking to his underling, and they're saying, this seems like a lot of effort to placate the Rat of 12 Plagues. Why did you choose him? When we arrive in Kunlun, in order for us to rebuild, we're going to need a plague to wipe out those who oppose us. The rat may have his faults, but his long-term benefits will serve us well. So they're using him as a plague bomb, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's it's establishing that Choshin is really, really planning a genocide.
Yeah, he is not. He's
not messing anyone who opposes us, and we're assuming he doesn't mean one or two people if he wants to set a plague loose on them.
We thought he was a bad person before, but now he's...
Yeah, now he's really
worse.
Coming out as big bad.
My question is the original one gonna go after him? Because he's escaped the prison, so are they gonna send people after him? Surely they would, right?
You would think so. But maybe it takes some time to work out exactly where he's gone.
They're all about honor, blah, blah, blah. Well, they know where Danny Rand lives.
Yeah.
So, I don't think it's hard to figure out where he would go.
He'd probably go to New York, yeah.
Yeah, they could send someone there. I mean, they have it's like an island full of martial artists, so...
They could spare someone for that mission.
And, in the background, that guy's still being eaten. So, and now we get to the bar with no name in a rainy alleyway, which I love. Now, this bar... it is actually a bar in Marvel. Like, it's the other story. It's been in a few stories, but the main one I read was when they were all having a funeral. This is like the bar with no name, I should say, is like where a bunch of villains hang out, but mostly like, B-listers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I believe it was in a Civil War time, like original Civil War. I've definitely
seen it in things before.
Yeah, and they were all at a funeral for Stiltman.
Yeah.
Spider-Man showed up, then left, and then turns out the bartender is the Punisher wearing a beard, and he blows the bar up. And I thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
So he's just deciding to kill all these D-list villains. But yeah, so this bar's obviously survived that and a few other things. But there's a Star Wars reference here.
Yep. It's pretty cool. They get, they work their way in.
Yeah. So Sabretooth, he knocks on the door, and I don't know who did Bruiser. Who is this guy?
I'm not entirely sure, but I'm sure I've seen the costume before.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be... he's got to be from somewhere. I was about to ask you to take over while I look, but I think you're looking now, so...
I'm having a quick look. Hired by Roxxon. He was in Daredevil. Hired by Roxxon Oil to kidnap Midas investments manager Mr. Randall, later subdued by Daredevil, who used his power against him, fracturing his leg. He can change his center of mass to a certain part of his body. Okay.
I've read all of Daredevil besides some of the more recent stuff, and I can't remember this guy. I mean, there was a lot of lame villains, though.
It says Daredevil. So... His first appearance was Daredevil Volume 3, Number 5 in 2011.
Okay, I can't even remember.
And he's worked for Hydra, AIM, the Serpent Society, the Magia, and the Secret Empire. So he's
gotten
he's
around.
a fair mercenary of, yeah. I knew I'd seen the costume before, but yeah. That's who he is.
He reminded me of one of the Wrecking Crew.
He just reminds me of standard AIM goon, actually, but,
Yeah. Have you ever heard about or read the Masked Marauder? Like, the Masked Marauder, that Daredevil villain?
I've heard of.
It is, like, one of the worst villains ever.
Okay.
He actually has an evil man mustache.
Awesome.
And he was, like, the landlord, I think, for where Matt lived, and it was just really stupid. And you would want it to be so stupid it was fun to read, but it was just
not
dumb.
quite that, yeah.
It just sucked. Anyway, so Bruiser's pretty much giving Sabretooth lip, and
yeah,
he's like, anytime, you want to fight?
And then the funny thing is, instead of actually showing us the fight, and given that we've had some great fights in this series, we just get a little box saying 3 minutes later, and they're in the bar.
Yeah. Probably not even worth showing.
Yeah, almost certainly not worth the time. And I think it must be Danny saying that there's a who's who of Z grade bad list in here.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in there. I'm sure there's a lot of references that I just don't know them, but we do. Do you recognise any of the people in that first panel?
I've not actually looked that carefully, to be honest. I'm guessing we probably would if we had a deep look, but nobody I was excited to see.
It's a nice looking bar, though.
It is. We've gone from all the blue hues outside to lots of reds and oranges inside. So it feels warm and cozy.
Which is, and I always love those touches in comics.
Yeah.
I feel they're really important, and I hate when writers miss them, but not writers, sorry, artists.
Artists and colorists.
Yes, and colorists.
Yeah,
we got to give
the
important
to the
people
here. The colorists. But yeah, I mean, to go from like outside rainy to indoor warm and snuggly.
Yeah. And so we have Tarantula. I do know who this guy is, though.
Yeah, I know Tarantula. I like Danny hovering in the background with his beanie on, looking like a Z-grade villain.
So Tarantula was originally a Captain America villain. He was like what country is he from? He's like the Captain America of that country, except he's evil, I guess. I don't know. But he tangled with Spider-Man and the Punisher. He lived.
Unidentified South American country.
Unidentified South American country.
Yeah, that's the important one.
Yeah. Colombia too. I don't know. So, yeah, Sabretooth's gone up to Tarantula. Now Tarantula's giving him lip as well. He's smell like
calling him a rat.
Smell like, yeah.
Yeah, because of course Sabretooth's gone good.
And Sabretooth is saying, I know you're trying to impress your friends, but don't, it won't end well for you. Mm. Now, as I said, I think Sabretooth is like one of the most evil people in comics. But it is funny seeing him bully all of these like C-listers.
Yeah.
Because he is so far above their level. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah, this is a guy you generally don't want to mess with. Even though every time we've covered him, he's just gotten the snot beaten out of him by Iron Fist, but yeah.
But that's always been an Iron Fist comic, so.
That's true. And Iron Fist is a good fighter, so.
Yeah, we shouldn't downgrade our Danny.
Yeah. Although Deadpool regularly kicks the crap out of him.
So. Deadpool's Deadpool.
Well, I guess he is also a really good fighter, so, yeah. It's a bit off tangent, but it is related. Did you read the, back in Cable and Deadpool when they came across Power Man and Iron Fist?
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny.
There's some great moments between, Deadpool and Iron Fist and
yeah.
And even in comics that aren't where they star, you'll hear, I mean, there was one last year where he was talking to somebody and he goes, well, he's talking to someone about being the good-looking one between him and Spider-Man, Deadpool, and he said, but that's like saying you're the best dressed between Power Man and Iron Fist. So that was actually quite a funny joke, especially given their history, because every time he meets them, he's always taking the piss out of Danny's outfit.
Yeah.
You know, so
Those,
it's pretty cool.
those 70s issues in that Deadpool run with Duggan, oh my god, that was
good.
Amazing.
So
we will cover that on the show. I think Carl really wants to cover it as well, though, where it goes back to the 70s where Deadpool meets Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
And it's great. And it doesn't make any sense because it's in the 70s, like 40 years ago, and they haven't aged.
Yeah, it makes sense. But it's one of those
like they've just changed outfits. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
So they've noticed that Sabretooth's friend is wearing sunglasses as well, as they get up and get ready to have a scrap.
He's pretty conspicuous.
Yeah.
So Tarantula throws a swing at Sabretooth. Goes about as well as you'd expect for Tarantula.
Yeah, not great.
And then everyone just starts fighting.
Yeah.
So,
but Danny does get in his little quip of, I want to point out the second bar will have destroyed in less than 24 hours.
We need to get Daredevil in this comic to rank up that count.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But the nice thing is, that's kind of my favourite type of Danny quip. It's not goofy, but it's got that little bit of... Yeah. But it's not, like we've talked recently about some of the goofier lines he's been getting, where he's a bit more clown-like, a bit more Spidey-like. This is a bit more kind of...
looks stupid.
This one's a little bit more adult humour, It's not stupid, it's just, we're doing something dumb again, but let's do it, kind of thing.
Yeah, pointing out stuff, not going, look at me, I talk all the time.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. I'm looking forward to covering Immortal Iron Fist, but that is the beginning of this, I believe. So, because he didn't quip like that in Power Man and Iron Fist. He just became more laid back.
Yeah.
Instead of constantly angry.
But the important thing about this fight is they fight until the point where Iron Fist's shirt's ripped off.
Yeah, that confused me because, like, in all the panels, his shirt's still on, and then all of a sudden he's, smoking on fire, and his shirt's, mostly torn off.
Yeah. But it's obviously the only way they can identify it's Iron Fist, because he's so undercover and hasn't used his fist. Remarkably, which I'm sure you wanted to point out.
What is happening? They're just... he uses his fists willy-nilly in one issue, and then he, is not using it in the next issue.
Who knows?
I mean, I really want to write to them about it, but I keep forgetting. And, I'll if it keeps happening, I'll definitely be writing to Ed Brisson or Mike Perkins. One of those two. I don't know which one to write towards. Probably Mike Perkins.
Both.
Yeah. So, they're like, we've been infiltrated. It's Iron Fist. And is that Iron Fist calling him a weenie?
Yeah. I'm not sure about that, but whatever. He's talking smack to them, basically.
Transfer is just a bloody pulp at this point. And he's like, okay, I give in, stop punching me. I can't believe you brought Iron Fist in. Not cool. So, Constrictor was in here a week ago, came in with this chump named Soapy, a middleman, pretty low level, puts crews together for bank heists, that sort of stuff. And while they're at the bar talking now, and Iron Fist is still fighting the rest of the bar. The fight is still happening. Hey, don't worry about me, you two just talk, I'll keep knocking out the bad guys. And... so essentially, he tells Sabretooth that they were here putting a crew together to break into some rich kid's vault, which is obviously Danny, and that he knows it wasn't Frank, the real Constrictor. Mm. So, they thought they might be working for the feds because it was so obvious.
Yep, and so Sabretooth's like, well, how do I find this middleman, this Soapy? And threatening to punch him more if he doesn't tell him. And then leave the bar to the next bit of action, which is in Long Island City, New York.
Yes.
We're back
And
with...
Choshin's...
Yeah.
Yeah, meeting with Constrictor, but not Constrictor.
Constrictor Mark II.
Yes. And... So, they're meeting in a shady place. You know, ooh, are you setting me up? No, you might be setting me up. Blah, blah, blah. And basically, Constrictor wants to renegotiate the deal. He wants more money. Yeah. Because he has clued in that this book is actually more valuable than he was led to believe. Yeah. I guess he's sort of wised up, in a sense, anyway. So he wants 2 million now, instead of 1 million. And then Choshin threatens him, and now he wants 3 million. Because he wants to set the Rat of 12 Plagues on him, but then he calls in the Serpent Society. Mm-hmm. And they've been around for a while. They're not particularly remarkable. If anyone,
Captain America, I think. Captain America,
and
Sam
also
Wilson.
First scene in Captain America, also.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, snake people are bad. Look at that name, Boomslang.
I know.
Approach Whip. It's like I would set the Rat of 12 Plagues on them anyway.
Yeah, me too.
I'd just be like, oh. That's your crew. Okay, rats, still get them.
Yeah.
Just give them all the plague.
Oh, so and now Constrictor wants 3 million?
Yeah. And Choshin's like, you have no honor, which is pretty rich.
But also true.
Yeah, but Choshin is one of the least honorable people I've ever read in a comic.
Oh yeah,
he's awful.
Yeah, he has no honor.
He is a sneaky person. So the Constrictor goes, you've got 24 hours to come up with a scratch before you start looking for other buyers, and then he walks out with his crew.
Okay, but here's the thing. Danny is a billionaire, right? Why even look for other buyers? Just sell it back to Danny.
Yeah, well they probably don't want to...
Yeah, they're probably going to get beaten up for having stolen it.
No, Iron Fist has ties to the Avengers.
Yeah.
So they probably don't want to deal with that drama. Is Iron Fist an Avenger right now?
No.
Did he, get his membership revoked or something?
No, it's just that neither Luke's also not on any Avengers team at the moment. The Avengers team's been quite delineated since Secret Wars, and because of Secret Wars resetting the whole universe, I guess you could just slip in that's when those changes happen.
Speaking of insanity, we will talk about bendis at the end of this podcast. Because I forgot to bring that up. But that is something we'll definitely talk about. Yeah. Anyway, they are at the laundromat, where the aptly named Soapy
hangs out.
Yeah, I think he runs it, actually.
I think he must, because it says soap something laundromat. And
he looks like a toad.
Pretty
I think he's in the corner. Yeah. So Danny's like, look, let me do the talking. Let's not destroy this place.
He's still shirtless, by the way.
Yes. And he's like, Soapy, you around? I guess that works because he sees Soapy trying to run. So they find him pretty quickly. So he's like, I ain't saying jack to you, pig. So they do the old interrogation method of putting him in a washing machine.
Yeah.
And Hyjinx ensues.
Threatening to turn it on.
Yeah. And Danny's putting the note in, or Sabretooth's putting the note in, but it's rejecting it. And it's all part of a very elaborate interrogation. And he breaks pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And Sabretooth's getting angry. Your change machines are garbage.
It's funny. I like that.
I did like this whole sequence.
Yeah, it was nice to have a little sort of change of pace.
And it was humor, but in a good, as we were saying before, it's like good humor that doesn't seem out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go back to the Red Hook in Brooklyn. Well, we don't go back there. We go to there, I should say.
Yeah.
And there's a really obvious boat.
Yeah, because it's got a massive red sail.
Yeah. So they know where Choshin is. No, they know where Constrictor is, but if they wanted to find Choshin, they could probably like look on Google Earth or get a satellite.
Yeah.
Which is completely doable with Danny and this universe, and just see that big red boat in the harbour.
Yeah.
But yes, a new arrival is here, the Eel of Blessed Waters, and we always knew he was a punk, and now it is confirmed because
he's come
he
to
is
join
also.
Choshin.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you lost. Deal with it.
Yep.
Loser.
And he's brought with him a bunch of people willing to fight for their cause.
Yep, and they don't have guns.
No, they have big swords.
Yes. So someone just call the cops. Arrest them all because they just have swords. So, but anyway.
And Choshin's like, the battle for Kunlun starts now.
With ominous lightning.
Yeah, in the
striking
background.
behind them. And there's lots of lightning striking behind this new crew as well.
Yeah.
As they're getting off the boat, which I like. It's cool, but it's also pretty funny.
It is. It's cool though.
Yeah. So it stopped raining and it's very stormy, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And I'll point out with the thing again, the laundromat had a nice atmosphere. Felt like it was in a laundromat. So
yeah. It was very bright.
So Danny's like, well, let's just be clear about one thing. You know, when we work together, no one dies. And then Sabretooth says, shut up.
Let's get another thing clear.
Yeah.
I'm only here to help
He's
you find the book. And I can find, and he wants to protect Frank's legacy as well. I'm not your partner. I'm not your friend. You don't get to dictate anything. And Danny gets his, is that a no on the no killing? As Sabretooth sort of jumps off the building.
Yep. I find it refreshing to just have a villain go, shut up. I'll kill if I want to.
I like the fact that they're like parkour buddies.
Yeah.
They're sort of jumping from building to building together, which is kind of sweet. Bonding.
In an odd way, but yes. So we're back to the Bronx in this just really shitty looking
apartment.
Yeah.
With all the Serpent Society in.
Yep. And this chick's going, what the hell's so special about this book? This thing doesn't have any words in it. But she's wearing a thing over her eyes, so how does she see?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like sunglasses thing. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, she probably has some sort of power, but you know what? I just don't care enough to look up this chick's specific power because she's part of the Serpent Society, and I think they're lame. So if you want to write in and tell me what their power is and call me a jerk, then just
do it.
Go ahead, and I'll read your email.
Yeah, he will. He'll love it.
Yes. So, yeah, they're sort of doing...
They're talking about what to do if they don't get the money from Choshin.
Yeah.
Basically. And sort of deciding whether they should have just taken the $1 million. And that how they'd broken into Iron Fist's house. He's got more money than Stark.
Which is interesting. Like, really? He has more money than Stark?
That's crazy. In the current universe, Stark hasn't got as much money.
Oh, okay.
So this is another post-Secret Wars change. Is that he's got enough money, but no longer billions and billions.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did like can't believe he keeps a dragon for a pet. Oh, they're so funny.
It's classic, like, villains who are in over their heads.
Yeah.
Just talking. And
yeah.
They're just idiots. They're no threat to anyone. Like, I don't think anyway. And he's trying to hit on...
He is trying to hit on her and she pushes him away.
Yeah, so this guy's just a loser.
Yeah. Whoever he is.
Yeah, and the doorbell rings. You expecting it on? No. Alright, Serpent Society. Time to protect our investment. Oh, that dude in the back. He's wearing, like, the serpent head.
Yeah, he's...
Space. And so, Danny and Sabretooth crash through the door. I really like the effect of I really like the Sabretooth shadow.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if it doesn't make heaps of sense, it just looks really cool.
It looks a bit like a Sesame Street monster, but it's really cute.
I was thinking Phantom of the Opera or the Babadook, but that all goes into the
A
same vein,
mixture
really.
of the two. Imagine a
Yes.
mixture of the two.
So now we have more fighting.
Yep. But this time we have the fist.
Yes. And Sabretooth is mauling New Constrictor. New Constrictor's like, get him off me, get him off. And take a crap on a great man's legacy. Whatever. Alright, Sabretooth. And Danny wants to know where the book is. And then the other door smashes. Or did they come through the wall or the door?
Maybe they came through the window.
No, they came through the window.
Yeah. They were parkouring.
Oh, you can see their shadows in that panel. Yeah. Okay, so then, which is a classic last panel here,
oh,
really.
Oh god, yeah, you can. That's really cool. Yes.
We have Sabretooth about to vivisect New Frank, and Choshin's like, Iron Fist, and he's got his crew with him.
It's like he's got his horde. He's got the plague of 12 rats there as well, looking starving, and this literal horde of people who are like they are cosplaying some ancient war, storming into this apartment with all their swords high, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah. And Danny's like, great who invited the jackasses to the party. And it's a good last panel.
It is.
It's a classic setup for the next issue. Then we have to be continued. Then we have the letters page. Nothing noteworthy in the letters page, except for the fact that someone asked if Pei was appearing, and they ignored that part of the email. So, yeah. But yes. So, thoughts on that issue?
It was alright. I still think I prefer all the stuff that came pre-Legacy to the stuff that's been post-Legacy. But I'm more interested in seeing the conclusion of this story now than the first issue.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this better than the Shang-Chi one, because that Iron Fist thing really annoyed me. Although I do love my cults, but yeah, I'm intrigued as to who is posing as Constrictor and why he chose Constrictor to pose as opposed to someone else.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're not really focusing on who is the new Constrictor as much as I thought they would, but it's kind of
Sabretooth is.
No, Sabretooth is, but it's not. It's like Danny doesn't care, because why would he care? I quite like that it's not become this big mystery. It's just this incidental we know that's the only reason Sabretooth's along, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to the next issue, see where this goes. I thought the fights were a bit better in this issue. I mean, not that there was many fights, but
there weren't. Yeah. I like the way during the fights the panels go from very standard to a bit more anarchic and fun.
Yeah.
I think Perkins draws amazing fight scenes.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're a bit all over the place sometimes. I think the quality of the first fights are better, but we'll see where it goes, really. They're definitely not. They're nowhere near bad. They're still good.
Yeah.
Just, yeah. So yeah, that was that issue. Now yes, Bendis has left Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
So there was much rejoicing, and then
I love
you find out he's in DC. And there was so many cries of terror from DC fans.
The funny thing is, it's not actually how it's panned out so much in that, or from my experience, is that DC fans who are always very, and I say this with no dissing, I've been reading all DC this week, apart from new issues, they're very intense, and a lot of them have been getting, it's amazing, it's great, it's like this, but I've seen very few Marvel fans be upset about it. Not necessarily because then, I mean, I'm a Marvel fan, I recognise that some of Bendis' best work we've seen has been Daredevil, we've seen some great stuff from him. I love his current Iron Man run, so my first feeling was like, oh my god, who's going to take over Iron Man? But, because I hope because we've just started the new Legacy story, and And I want it to finish well, and I'm sure Bendis had a plan. Jessica Jones at the moment is very strong with the return of Purple Man. We've obviously got him writing Defenders as well. So there's a certain sense of who's going to take these over, whereas the DC people are fixing on the really great stuff he's done in the past. And I guess everyone's feeling that maybe 17 years at one company, a change might be good all round.
Well, I've had the opposite experience from both sides.
It's interesting though, right? I mean,
it is interesting. It's also annoying though, because I know a lot of Marvel fanboys, and they are just the worst. They're like, oh, DC is finished, ha 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 ha. Because Bendis went to DC, and I'm like,
yeah,
you
which
guys
is crazy.
lost one of your biggest sellers, right?
Right, he's not a bad writer like, even when I mock about how bad Civil War 2 was, and honestly, it was bad. But like, he's next to that, he'll be writing like Spider-Man and doing a great job at it. So I think he's someone that needs to be inspired by what he's writing. And who knows what gossip is behind the move, but either way, I'm sure what he comes out with DC is going to be great, because like, it's a fresh start. I mean, yeah, a few years down the line, maybe he won't be doing such a great stuff, and your Marvel stans can be sort of vindicated for that. But I mean, the other thing on the Marvel side is, though, I mean, everyone makes a big deal about Marvel losing its way a bit at the moment and blah, blah, blah. And obviously there's some truth to all of this. But, I mean, can you imagine what an opportunity there is now for Marvel to shuffle people around a bit? And like to offer someone who's never had a chance to write Miles Morales and Jessica Jones never been written by a woman except for one tiny anthology story. Never been written by anyone who isn't Bendis. Really.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, there's this, I mean, if you were an up and coming writer, having some of these titles free and the shuffling around that can come from that. I mean, because Marvel have signed on Ed Brisson as an exclusive, and Matthew Rosenberg and Donny Cates, and they're all good, solid writers. It's just, I mean, I have some hope that maybe it'll be a good shake up for Marvel. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not as invested as everyone else, because the only current new comic that comes out that I actually read is Iron Fist, and he's not doing anything with that. So, I'm more just curious as to what was behind the change, because I thought he was going to be running the joint at some point.
I mean, any suggestions are really all rumor and speculation. Like some people, like Bleeding Cool are saying, oh, he's upset that his Spider-Man was going to become Miles Morales Spider-Man, and Dan Slotts was just going to become Spider-Man. There's a lot of people saying, well, he's not involved in any of the film stuff since Marvel cut links between the film and comic divisions, and maybe DC offered him a space at the film table, which is a lot more money. He's obviously friends with Jeff Johns and that, so maybe there's characters he just wants to write. There's obviously something that's pushed him, but alongside there are decent incentives such as money and playing in a different toy box. But yeah, I mean, clearly something's up. You don't just like leave in the middle of all these.
Because I thought he was like a Marvel permanent mainstay. I thought he was going to be editor one day, which is the day I was writing. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I just feel like maybe he's got offered Superman or Batman, just better stuff.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was writing Superman. I don't know though. I mean, like, but here's the thing. I mean, like, people have speculated everything from like Shazam, because that's obviously the next film to be done, and would kind of suit him in terms of writing kids and or doing something street level like Shadow or Question. I just can't see them taking Tom King. I mean, they're not going to take Tom King off Batman right now. So unless he's doing a sort of different Batman book, I don't know. And they've got loads of Batman books at the moment, so I don't know. It's hard for me to get my head around the fact that he could go Batman. But there's still all the sort of Bat family. Like, I mean, could do Nightwing, I guess. I don't. It would have to be or Justice. Well, it's not. I don't think it's going to be Justice League, because Christopher Priest has just gone into that, and that's a huge writer. But maybe Justice Society of America, I don't think has a a title at the moment. I don't know. I'm not very DC oriented. I'd be interested to see what he said. I mean, he says it's going to be amazing and we'll hear soon and blah, blah, blah. So we'll hear soon.
Yeah.
But we're never going to know
we'll
the entire deals about why he changed until, like, years down the line, unless somebody actually leaks it.
Or unless someone gets really cranky.
Yeah.
Yeah, which happens a lot. So. Alright, so I believe that about wraps us up.
Yeah, I just need to give a shout out to my Moon Knight podcast.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Rebecca was on the Moon Knight podcast, the
I
new
was.
episode coming out.
It's called Into the Night with a K. And it's only been going a few months. So give it a listen if you like Moon Knight. It's got, the guys on it are really cool. Whereas I'm not, so. But they are.
Wow.
So.
Alright. Well, until next time, may your claws become onto things of disemboweling.
And make sure you feed your rats really well.
Yes. Peace.
Bye.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon. Our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast. Our Soundcloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor Carl. Just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. And I would like to thank Thomas Tissot for letting us use his Iron Fist theme song for the start of our show. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.